Good evening. My name is Adriane Boag and I'm here representing the National Gallery of Australia. And I've used a quote that's actually the sort of title for the 20th Biennale in Sydney, which is on right now, which I suppose is our flagship visual arts exhibition in Australia. And it's a quote from an author, an American-Canadian author called William Ford Gibson, who termed the coin cyberpunk. And I suppose I've used it to create a link with what I'm going to talk about tonight, which is social inclusion. And as, I suppose, an idea, as the quote suggests, it has more currency in some circles and places than others. So social inclusion, I suppose, in a nutshell, is about participation, equal opportunity and empowerment. And the history of the three galleries on the screen embody shifting attitudes to access to culture. So the Louvre in the top left-hand corner, which opened in 1793, opened as a result of the French Revolution, the first public gallery in the world. I don't know, it seems like not that long ago to even have those kinds of ideas about making collection treasures available. The image on the bottom is of the Museum of Modern Art in New York, which was opened in 1928. And the director of MoMA, as it's known, opened that gallery devoted to modern art, first gallery in the world to be devoted to modern art, and expanded its collecting policy to include photography, film, industrial design, and architecture. And then on the right-hand side is an image of the National Gallery of Australia. And I suppose I've included that because I wanted to think about, even in the 30-odd years that it's been in existence, how much the gallery has changed. It was designed to house just 1,000 objects to offer a sort of definitive overview of Australian art. But I wanted to talk about galleries overall as powerful sites for social cohesion, places where multiple voices can be heard and where multiple voices are celebrated. This is kind of one of my favourite images, and I'm not sure how many of you have been to the Big Pineapple, but if you remember it from the 70s, and you've been back recently, you'll probably, there'll be a little bit of a disconnect between your two experiences. It opened in 1971, and like the NGA, is heritage listed. Out of the 4 big things that I've shown on the screen, how many of them have you visited? And what do you remember about them? I would suggest that they all offer big experiences and have the power to change your view of the world. And galleries, just like the Big Pineapple, need to continually renew their vision and ideas around their purpose. Tonight I'm kind of using a little example of a program at the gallery that I've been involved in since 2007. It's a program for people living with dementia. And when it began at the gallery, it was challenging, I think, to the institution to deal with an audience that we had very little experience of and which required a completely different way of thinking. But the NGA models social inclusion through through the Art and Dementia program. And the aims of the program are listed at the bottom of each slide, and I hope you'll notice that they reflect values associated with health and really the value of community rather than being perhaps values that you might associate with the visual arts. So social inclusion has at its heart the removal of barriers. Barriers result in discrimination. Discrimination has impacts for physical and mental health, which can entrench disadvantage. Visiting the gallery and participating in a program allows people living with dementia to articulate their experiences of the human condition. The Art and Dementia program emphasises imagination rather than memory. It's active and forward-looking. It provides people with a chance to learn. The program has the power to be transformative for participants and for facilitators. It provides a place where attitudes can change and beliefs can be reassessed. It gives people voice. George said, "That black circle is dementia and I feel as though I'm disappearing." Social inclusion is about normalising people, us, making people visible in the community, raising community awareness. Differences shouldn't separate and alienate. We are different precisely in order to realise our need for one another. Thank you.